Donald Trump's looming return to the presidency is sparking two very different reactions on the world stage. And it tells you everything you need to know about the kind of leadership that Trump offers. Because our traditional allies, mostly democracies, mostly Western liberal democracies, are terrified. Countries like the United Kingdom and South Korea and others that have historically relied on the United States for our stability and our partnership, they are bracing for the chaos and division that are inevitably going to come with Trump's second term. But authoritarian regimes, they're rolling out the red carpet. They love the return of Trump. We have new data about this. A recent poll by the European Council on Foreign Relations shows that while many people worldwide think that Trump may bring peace to some conflicts, traditional Democratic allies overwhelmingly see Trump's return as a disaster. For example, in the United Kingdom, a country long known for its special relationship with the US. I will be there soon, in fact, working on some interesting projects. Only 15% of people in the UK feel good about this looming Trump presidency, and a whopping 54% think it's going to hurt their domestic security. You look to South Korea, even more anxiety. 67% in South Korea say Trump's leadership is going to make things worse for their country. These are the people on the front lines of democracy. They are not buying Donald Trump's promises. And meanwhile, countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Russia, longtime adversaries of the US, authoritarian regimes, they are very pleased with the idea of Trump back in power. Why? They know what Trump stands for: weakening the alliances and institutions that hold those regimes accountable. Trump has already signaled, for example, that NATO countries have to pay their bills or the US might not protect them, effectively undermining the very foundation of collective security of the West. Putin loves it. Don't forget Trump's bizarre Greenland invasion idea, which would directly threaten NATO ally Denmark. So this is not leadership, it's chaos. This is an approach that doesn't strengthen America's position on the world stage. It really isolates us, and you just have to look at who's cheering. When the liberal democracies are scared and the authoritarian regimes cheer, you know that the shared values that the US has had and stood by for decades are all of a sudden in question. Europe, for instance, increasingly viewing itself in a different light, where it is not clear that the alliance with the US is possible, and maybe Europe is going to have to go it alone in terms of protection. That is a seismic shift, and Trump is accelerating it. And the real kicker is that many people worldwide believe Trump when he says that he will bring peace in a lot of these authoritarian regimes. For example, Trump has promised to end the Russia-Ukraine war. First, it was within 24 hours of becoming president-elect. Then it was within 24 hours of being inaugurated. Most recently, it's within 100 days. It's all nonsense, but there are people who are falling for it despite Trump's track record. Trump's track record is one where he thrives on conflict. Trump doesn't thrive on fixing things and resolving conflicts. He thrives on conflict. And the only people buying the narrative that Trump is going to fix everything are those who are either in the cult or those who continue to believe that it is these strongmen authoritarians that are going to reshape global order in their favor. So the takeaway, as we are almost at the eve of Trump's inauguration, the takeaway is quite simple. Trump's second term is poised to again alienate our allies, embolden our adversaries, and potentially reshape the United States' role in the world. I believe not in a good way. The authoritarians believe in a good way. If you care about stability and democracy and sort of the global order, this should be a massive wake-up call. The question is, will people listen before it's too late, or are we going to end up in a real mess of a situation 6 months from now? We have to wait and see. We've seen many high-profile data breaches this year, raising serious concerns about personal information security, and most alarming, National Public Data announced a major breach potentially impacting nearly every American. It exposed 2.9 billion records, including names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, social security numbers, and hackers released all of this online for free. But I feel secure thanks to Aura, one of our sponsors. Aura monitors your personal data. This includes your social across billions of data points, including dark web and public records. It will let you know if there's an identity theft risk, and they provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. Aura offers additional safety features like real-time breach alerts, a password manager, and much more. I don't want to leave myself or my family vulnerable to these data breaches. If you don't want to either, go to aura.com/Pacman to try 2 weeks free. That's enough time to see if your personal data is already exposed. The link is in the description.